Welcome to MBT. I'm Tanner Hubis, and today I'd like to discuss a tradition of Vermont, the Vermont Beardies. As we speak, the Fifth Annual Vermont Beardies contest has started, in which teams gather to raise funds for children with critical illnesses through a great organization, Make-A-Wish Vermont. With me now, I have the privilege to interview Michelle Fortin, aka Pappie of Highgate, Vermont. During the 4th Annual Vermont Beardies contest last year, Pappie took place of the Backwoods Beard and the Best Beard of Vermont in 2020. Let's meet Pappie now. Welcome, Pappie. Since last year, it appears that you've trimmed your beard. How long is your beard now, and how long have you been growing it?
Yeah, it does appear that I shaved it. I've been growing it since 40 years. And you really want to see how long it is? You
Yeah.
want to know how long it takes to grow it? I'll show you. That's how long it takes to grow it.
So, what inspired you last year to enter the 2020 Vermont Beardies?
What inspired me last year to enter the Beauties contest is my grandson Make-A-Wish. His wish came true. He wished for a little pop-up camper, and his dream did come true. That really convinced me to enter the Beauties contest to help the kids, the chronic kids that have very critical issues. I want to make their dreams come true. I need everybody's help out there to make their dream come true.
Where were you when you found out about the results of the contest, and how did that make you feel?
Well, it was kind of funny the way it happened. I just came on a delivery from down south. I was heading to the young stock to push the feed up to him. Phone rings. My brother calls up and says, "Where are you?" "I'm in Highgate." "Can you head over to the plot? My son Daniel needs some help up here." "Okay, so I'll see him up here." I headed up here. We put a few more varieties in. Then my brother appears. He was shoulder to shoulder to me. Phone rings. "Who in the heck's calling me up now?" And my brother looks at me kind of funny, and I look back at him. I looked at the phone. "Oh, Nana." I picked up the phone. "What's the matter?" He says, "You won! You won!" I says, "What do you mean I won? What the heck did I win?" "You won the Beardies contest." "Really? How'd you say that again?" I had to have her repeat it again because it didn't click in there. And she said, "You won the Beardies contest. You're on TV, on Channel 3. No. Oops. And after that, I still don't believe I won the Beardies contest. But that made me feel real good. I did something for the kids, and I still don't believe it.
The 5th Annual Vermont Beardies has a goal of $40,000. What is your goal this year?
My goal this year, I want to top my 5,000 goal. And last year I raised $1,600, a little over that, for the Make-A-Wish, which I was happy with that. But this year, I want to top that $5,000 for them. Make their wish come true.
What does your wife think of your beard?
Before or after? Before, she kind of wanted me to cut it off, keep it short like I used to do it. But now I kept telling her, no, I want to grow it. I kept growing it and growing it. Then when my grandson entered the Make-A-Wish, like I said earlier, he wanted his pop-up camper. That convinced me my beard got to get longer. So I kept letting it get longer and longer. And believe it or not, I trimmed it twice. One time was 8 inches I took off. And the time after that, I took off 12 inches. And I just let it grow because the underneath was shaved down to nothing. I wanted the underneath to catch up to the top of it. That's why I shaved it off a little bit. Or you could say 8 and 12. Do the math. After, my wife, she kind of adapted to it. And she likes it now.
Have you ever been asked by children if you were Santa?
Oh, there's a few kids that asked me that question. But this one little girl in particular asked me that question. I was in line at the cashier. Wife Nana was in front of me, and this little girl behind me felt my coat tuck. So I turned around and I kind of smiled at her, and she asked me, she says, "Are you Santa?" I looked at her. I looked at her mom. I looked back at her, and I could be. And she had a big smile on her face, turned around, and she was there whispering in Mommy's ear. And that's what happened there. I always remember that one. That made me feel good.
After your first Vermont Beardies contest, what experiences have you gotten from it?
Well, I remember one time I was down south, coming back up on Route 22. Just coming into Virgins, and I could see a bunch of blue light, red lights flashing, and I mean a lot of them. I said, boy, it must be a bad accident up here. The closer I got to it, and I got closer and closer, next thing you know, this ain't no accident. It was a graduation for the youngsters. And the first vehicle had honk as you go by and congrat the ones that come through. So I did that. And after probably about 10 cars, here comes a pickup with a flatbed. There were 6 young girls sitting on it. And one of the girls in the middle, close to me, she turns around and her eye contacted my eyes, and first thing she says, "There's Pappie!" And I'll tell you one thing, that felt real good. The crowd that was all the way around, stopped and stared, and they couldn't believe it. It was me that got announced on TV, on radio, whatever else they put it on. That felt real good.
So this sums up the interview. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, I do. To all the beardos out there, including myself, have a very successful year, and let's do it for the kids! And I got a question that got asked me on the end when I got announced, and the question was, what do you feed this thing, Pappie? The answer is, Nana's good cooking!
Now you've heard it from Pappie himself, where his grandson Ace was granted a wish of a pop-up camper from Make-A-Wish Vermont. Now you can join Pappie in the Beardies contest, where you can help him achieve his goal of $5,000. You can do this by scanning the QR code with your smartphone on screen or going to vermontbeardies.com and searching for Team Pappie. I'm Tanner Hubis with MBT. Thank you and good day.
I'm back!